This I'm excited to talk about because of all the people whom I have a real soft spot for these days. One of them is Trevor Bauer, and he has
Which
set
feels
yet
weird to
an.
say.
I know. I will own it. I have had somewhat of a change of heart over the last however long, couple of years or whatever. Um, I'm not alone. I'm a convert to the Church of Bauer outage or whatever you want to call it. So Trevor Bauer set another Mexican League record. He struck out 19 batters. That's a single game record in the Mexican League. He allowed only 5 hits, 1 run, and he hung in there for 8 2/3 innings. I could have finished the whole thing, but I don't know why he didn't. After yet a
They
what?
probably wanted to let him get the standing O, the curtain call for that last.
Yeah, I can see that. After yet another record, people continue to wonder why Trevor Bauer is not playing in Major League Baseball. And the answer seems to be poopy pantsery at face value. But I think beneath the surface, there must be something more insidious going on. These are things we've alluded to repeatedly in the past. We're not the only ones saying it. Some
Not
court of
alluded to, Brig. We've straight up said the word collusion.
collusion. Yeah, there's collusion, and it's against Bauer. He's being blackballed, and I'm against it. You're right. I don't know why I'm soft shoeing around this. This is BS. Trevor Bauer deserves to play in the major leagues. He deserves to have a contract that is at the value that is paying him what he is worth, and not
Well,
just the league minimum he belong to get him in the league. He deserves the respect he plays to earn. I don't get it. I'm so mad. Trying to keep it cool.
it's
It's not
absurd.
working.
It's the fact that there are pitchers out there who are far far beneath him, right?
Yeah.
I went back earlier and watched the Drew Pomerantz clip from a few weeks ago.
Oh,
The fact that the Giants signed Drew Pomerantz and brought him in over Trevor Bauer when you could very easily have brought in Bauer. Just like phone call, hey Luba, we need your guy.
yeah.
Send him on up.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, man. And I understand Drew Pomerantz is a reliever, right? I get it. Bauer's a
So,
starter, but I think Bauer would take any opportunity at this point. And
yes.
Drew Pomerantz made $10 million from the Padres last year. I'm sure he's making something similar to that this year. I don't see what he's making this year with the Giants, but
I thought it was half that or something. I can't remember either. Anyway, the point is now Bill James. Bill James is a baseball writer, historian. He's also a statistician. And Bill James on X, formerly and in my heart called Twitter, Bill James says, quote, Major League Baseball may now be in a position where if they don't actively encourage someone to sign Trevor Bauer, they could be setting themselves up to lose a billion-dollar lawsuit. That's interesting. that's
a lot of tortillas.
that's a lot of tortillas. Okay. To which Trevor Bauer obviously responded, how could he not come to the table and munch on that sandwich? He
Mm-hmm.
responded, quote, I'd really prefer not to go this route. But if I continue being kept out of baseball as I currently am, I may have no other choice. Let's hope it doesn't come to that and I'm allowed to return to my career that was taken from me over provably false allegations that never held any merit to begin with. He has maintained his innocence and fought for his public perception and
Mm-hmm.
his professional standing doggedly from the beginning. We, unlike very often, we do not have the benefit of a court of law to push the truth into the open. That's very uncommon. And now here we are in a situation where we have the facts, we have the evidence, we have all of the details, and people are being punished because of the actions they took falsely against Trevor Bauer, fraudulently,
Yep.
right? And they still will not bring the guy back. I don't understand. He says provably false. I say provably a lot more than just false. We've seen it all. I don't see the problem.
Right. Yeah. And it's weird. It's absurd that Major League Baseball is just like, this guy drives us crazy. Let's just keep him out of the game.
Right.
Right. And because I've been saying it for years, Brig. So many years. Major League Baseball has a marketing problem. And it's because they don't want guys who understand marketing, like Trevor Bauer, in the game spouting off.
Yep.
Like,
speaking his truth.
So
that's the problem.
The NFL plays games on 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Monday, Thursday, Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess you go Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Anyway.
Whatever. Right.
And the NFL has 3 days a week. The NFL has a news cycle 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because players are spouting off as soon as their game is over, talking about the guy they're matching up with the next week. The NBA has, we'll say 3 to 4 games a week, depending on the schedule.
Yeah.
Right. At least has 6 days a week with the news cycle, depending on the time of year. Right. When it's January, February, it's a little bit less because of football, but March, it's a little bit more because there's no football and baseball's in spring training. Right. So maybe they have all 7. But guys are spouting off all the time after games, talking about each other like, oh, wait till these teams play each other again. Wait till they see each other in the playoffs. What's it going to be like? Major League Baseball does not have that. I understand Major League Baseball has 7 days of the news cycle because they're playing 7 days a week.
Right.
Right. You might have 28 games in 30 days. No days off. But you need guys spouting off on social media, in post-game press conferences, in media availability, in daytime interviews, whatever. You need guys spouting off to create storylines for you, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. As much as I love watching pitching matchups, I have a Facebook memory that pops up every single year. Man, Felix versus CC, I wish I could watch the game tonight.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You look forward to that. But you know what I would look forward to more? As if Felix and CC had a beef.
Oh, yeah.
That game would have been on ESPN, like it should have been anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Let Trevor Bauer back in the league because he deserves to be. A, because of his ability. B, because he's been proven innocent. And C, because you need somebody creating storylines for you, because you don't know how to do it, apparently, other than the Rick Wood Field game, which I loved. The Field of Dreams game, which I love. The World Tour, which I love. But you need something more than that. Let players create beef with one another to create additional dramatic storylines rather than just nostalgia.
Okay. You hit the nail on the head. You hit my buzzword. The point is stories. You need not Facebook stories or Instagram stories. You need actual storylines. In order to do that, you have to have competing forces. We have that. You need to have a protagonist-antagonist relationship between two parties. Sometimes we have that, but baseball suffers on the antagonism side of things. It's almost like they're trying to squelch
the problem
out
is
villains.
The antagonists you get are the steroid users, the guys who break the personal conduct policy. They're off the field. We want on the field antagonists. That's what baseball needs.
That's what we need.
We have
villains.
The Astros. The Astros were that for a long time. Continue to be in some circles. And they're really great for baseball.
So is the Yankees being the evil empire thing. I'm a huge Yankees fan. We are the villain of the story a lot. It's a big deal. But let's be honest, that's 20 years removed now.
I was going to say, it's been so long since the Yankees have won. They're not necessarily the bad guy anymore.
No.
They're not the evil empire anymore.
So here's what I'm saying. I want to take now I'm on my soapbox. So bear with me. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But let's compare 1-to-1. Okay. Let's just go down this route. We have 2 starting pitchers. Okay. One of them, the league loves entirely. Everything about this guy is white bread, American, picture perfect. It is a white picket fence storyline. Now, I understand there are some problems with the description I just used. Okay, get off my back. What I'm trying to say is certain storylines make a lot of sense for marketing within Major League Baseball's comfort zone. And Paul Skeens fits that narrative perfectly. We got a guy who's got a deferred military contract, right? We got a guy who is dating one of the most attractive women in certain circles in the country.
Well, she's an Olympian.
She's an Olympian. Right? She talk about somebody who knows how to market. Livy Dunn knows what she's doing when it comes to marketing herself, right? Paul Skeens has no idea. He doesn't have to. He's dating Livy Dunn. She does it all for him, right?
Yep.
You got a guy who has a weird warm-up routine. Okay, it's weird, right? It's wonky, but for some reason, it's acceptable. Maybe and I don't think it has anything to do with the team he's on being a little bit obscure, because they are pimping that out hard. I don't think it has anything to do with, Anyway, the point is, you Trevor Bauer, let's put him on the same scale. Weird warm-up routine, right? Was on a team in obscurity for a while, right? When we first got to know him. Big emotional guy. Paul Skeens, not a big emotional guy, right? Mm-hmm. Trevor Bauer, personal life, not everybody loves. Paul Skeens, everybody loves his personal life. You know what I mean? Like, if you compare the two and you walk down each linear foot of the comparison, you have a built-in protagonist, antagonist in the way Major League Baseball views storylines, right? They got a guy that traditional purist Major League Baseball is going to love in Paul Skeens, and you got a guy that traditional purist Major League Baseball seems to hate in Trevor Bauer. It's like, why is this bad for baseball?
And how big of Kenny Powers vibes would Trevor Bauer give off coming into Major League Baseball with egging on the batters because he knows he can strike them out, and all of his antics. And then on top of all that, Trevor Bauer spent the last year in the Mexican League. Like, all of it.
Yeah.
Like the biggest Kenny Powers vibes. And people will eat it up.
Alive, dude. And that show, people watch that show like it's
still.
Just,
my cousin told me last week I needed to watch it.
I keep hearing about it all the time. People are like, you got to watch that show. You still got to watch that show. I mean, this kind of stuff writes itself if you just get out of the way and let it happen. But they're not getting out of the way.
Baseball. It's not going to get out of the way.
They don't know how to get out of their own way. Yeah. Anyway, I saw, as soon as we started talking about this, I was like, oh my gosh, I see there's two things going on here. They're exactly the same on just for different sides of the same coin. It's ridiculous.
Yep. It is ridiculous. It's absurd.
Right. Let's move on. Okay. Sign Trevor Bauer. Get him back in the league. Every reason.